Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and today I'm going to present you cash flow forecasting for Sage 300, one of the 12 add-on products developed by SYSTRONICS. Cash flow forecasting offers a complete solution for easy and effective cash flow forecasting inside Sage 300. With this tool, running simulations and conducting what-if analysis is fast and effortless. It allows to create provisional transactions such as receipts, payments, and bank transfers, and calculate bank balance forecast based on these transactions as of any future date. This way you can see what effect a transaction would have on bank balance without actually creating that transaction in Sage 300. They do not affect the actual bank balances. It is possible to modify each provisional transaction anytime as long as it is not converted into an actual transaction. Cash flow forecasting is not just a convenient projecting tool, it also simplifies the process of creating transactions in Sage 300. Since the program enables to convert provisional transactions into actual transactions, it is just a matter of seconds to update subledgers and bank account balances. Moreover, with this application, you can stop worrying about inadvertently exceeding bank overdraft limits in your forecasts. You define bank overdraft limits to facilitate spotting transactions that take the account balance below the overdraft limit. The transactions that put the bank balance below overdraft limit are highlighted. Cash flow forecasting also allows to generate provisional transactions automatically from accounts receivable invoices, accounts payable invoices, purchase orders, order entries, and GL account budgets. Also, cash flow forecasting allows to generate recurring provisional transactions for transactions that are recurring over time. Now let's go live and see how the application actually works. So I will go to Provisional Transaction Management Console screen, which in cash flow forecasting is used to review the current and provisional bank balances as of a selected date. The cash flow forecasting Provisional Transaction Management Console screen is the place where all provisional transactions are managed. You can open, create, delete provisional transactions, generate actual transactions, print reports, etc. Here I have selected the bank CCB, and we can see here the statement currency CAD, and also the overdraft limit is defined as $2,000. We can select from which dates we want to project our cash situation. So let's say we want to project starting from today until the end of this year. I'll press the Go button and see that the current balance of our bank is minus 2,300. And now we don't have any provisional transactions. Let's create some provisional transactions. I will go to Auto-Generate Provisional Transaction screen. As I said, we can auto-generate provisional transactions based on AR invoices, AP invoices, order entry orders, purchase orders, and GL account budgets. Let's, for now, create receipts for our AR invoices. Let's say we want to select the invoices for which the due date is starting from today until the end of this year. I will press the Go button and a lot of invoices appear here. These are the invoices which have due dates starting from today until the end of December. Let's generate, and we see that 7 provisional transactions are created. And I go back to Management Console screen. We can see the provisional transactions are created here. Let's also create payments for our accounts payable invoices. I will choose AP invoices from here, and again, the document due date will be starting from tomorrow until the end of this year. And when I press the Go button, the transactions appear here. These are the invoices that we have in our accounts payable module. Let's generate provisional transactions, and okay, 3 transactions are created. Now we can see that here the running balance is shown, and for these 2 rows the balance is highlighted, which means that the balance is exceeding the overdraft limit of our bank, which is $2,000, but the balance is minus 3,300. So this is bad. We need to take action and do something to improve our bank position. So what we can do? We can, for example, print the cash flow forecasting report to see what options can we do. Let's print the report starting from today again until the end of this year. I will select weekly for the graph, and the starting date will be Monday. I also can print this report for multiple banks. I selected 3 of my banks, CCB, FC Bank, and PR Bank. Let's print and see what we will see. The purpose of cash flow forecasting report is to show forecasted cash position as of selected date. Here we can see the provisional transactions are listed. We see the bank receipt, bank payment amount, and also the running balance. On the left side, we can see the 3 banks which I selected earlier. Let's go to the last page. And on this last page, a graph is printed which shows the position of 3 of our banks. The CCB bank is mentioned in blue. We have another FC bank in yellow and PR bank in green. We see that, for example, in here, the FC bank has quite high balance, and we can, for example, create bank transfers, provisional bank transfers, and transfer some money from FC bank to CCB bank to improve our bank position. So let's do that. We can do it directly from Management Console screen. I will click this button and Provisional Transaction Entry screen will open. Select Bank Transfer. Let's see on which date we had problems. So the date is the beginning of December. We have problems with our cash on the beginning of December. So let me select that date, the 1st of December, and transfer money from FC Bank to CCB Bank. Let's say $4,000. On this screen, we can add 1 service charge for each of our banks. Let's say my bank charges me $50 for bank transfers. I will add GL account for the charge and $50, and just click Add, and this provisional transaction is created. I can close it now. This is the transaction that I just created. And now the balance, we can see that the balance is improved and we no more exceed our overdraft limit of our bank. We can also create actual transactions for our provisional transactions. Let's open one of our transactions. This one is a customer receipt transaction. Okay, and let's say I actually received money for it, and now I want to have this transaction in my AR as a receipt transaction. So I can either create receipt, payment, prepayment, or unapplied cash transaction for it. I will select just to create receipt. I need to add a batch number for it and generate transaction. So after pressing the button, AR receipt entry screen appears, and we can see that the receipt is applied to the invoice from which we auto-generated it earlier. We can press the Add button and post this transaction in our Sage 300 AR module. Yes, and this transaction is posted now. Cash flow forecasting also gives us the opportunity to create recurring transactions. Let me go to that screen, recurring transaction screen. You can use recurring transactions to define templates for provisional transactions. You can generate provisional transactions based on recurring transactions periodically or for specified dates. You can, for example, create a template for rental payments and generate provisional transactions for future periods with a click of a button. So now I will create a rental payment recurring transaction. Let's say we pay our rental fee every month, so I will select the monthly schedule code. And let's say the start of this payment is today. We're starting to pay it for, and we don't have any expiration date for it. The rental payment is going to be a miscellaneous payment transaction. I will just add the GL account for my payment. And let's say the amount of our fixed rental payment is $1,000 each month. So my recurring transaction is now created. To create provisional transactions for it, I need to click on this button, Create Provisional Transactions. And here I have three options. Next schedule, which will create a provisional transaction with the next schedule. Up to, I can select a date for in this field, and for example I selected the end of this year, and all provisional transactions until this date will be created, and also we can specify a specific date and one provisional transaction will be created for it. So as we have 3 months left until the end of the year, when I click process, okay, 2 provisional transactions are created. Okay, great. And also cash flow forecasting allows to delete provisional transactions, which we know that we're not going to have inflow or outflow for them. For example, let's say I know that I'm not going to receive money or I'm not going to pay money for these provisional transactions. I can select them and just delete them. And the deletion was successful, and my unneeded, unnecessary provisional transactions were deleted. That's all for cash flow forecasting. Thank you for your attention.